So we just had an interesting event happen. So our host is having a problem with their power. So we have none right now, which is totally fine because we are about to do a review of the Delta by Ecoflow. And it's been sitting here getting ready to do the review on it. So we're gonna go ahead and break it out. How convenient is that?
Super convenient.
So this is the Delta by Ecoflow, and this is the first time I charged it up, but this is the first time we're breaking it out. So these are all the parts and pieces. This is for charging from a solar panel, which I'm gonna do. It's charging from a car charger. And then this is like a supercharger. So this is like you plug it into just electric, and it charges it like super fast. It's absolutely amazing. And it comes in a cool little pouch. Keeps it clean while you store it, like I was storing it. And then here's the parts and pieces. Let's see how charged she is. She's been sitting for, it's 100%. Been sitting for probably a week, I think. But a whole bunch of random stuff on it. USB-A. What is this? Fast charge. So it's like, what is it? 5-volt USB. USB-C right there. Then on the side, this is the ports to charge it. This is from solar or car. This is from the wall charger. This is a breaker. And then over here we got 6 outlets. I don't know exactly how this works. We'll see. But because you got to put these in upside down. Oh yeah, 2 will fit. So you put 2 in, so the ground is there. So it goes in this way. I know it looks weird, but see, I haven't even opened this. And this is for cigarette power, cigarette lighter power. It's not even called a cigarette lighter anymore, is it? So yeah, so this is pretty cool. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and plug our entire house in, because this, if I'm not mistaken, it has a 1800 watt inverter in it. As of now, we have like 4 things plugged in. 2 refrigerators, I'll get to that in a second. The Wi-Fi Ranger, probably our lights. So there's not much plugged in, but we want to have power because our host's power is off. So let's go make some power. Also, so we can cook our dinner. We got tater tots to make. This is our 30 amp plug, right? This is an adapter that goes to 15 amp. Makes it super simple. This we used 1 billion times when we parked at people's houses. So we just plug this into a 15 amp. So what I'm gonna do is plug the whole entire house into the Delta and see how she does. So, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, so plugs in back here. And the only things that are on right now, the fridge will turn on when I plug it in. And since we've been in quarantine mode, we've had our extra fridge out here, which is a refrigerator cooler that we use for the car. So yeah, so that's plugged in too. All right, let's see how she does. Oh, I gotta turn it on. There's a switch back here. There we go. So everything just kicked on, so the fridge is running. Both the fridges are running. Yep. So let's see. So the output from this guy is 224 watts. So that's how much all of those things are pulling. I'm gonna go turn off a couple of things, but so this tells you how many hours it's gonna run. So it'll run at 222 watts for 5 hours. So look at that. I just plugged our whole entire house into 1800 watt system that's this. We had another system that was 1500 watts and it was 4 times as big. It's this wide and a little bit taller and about that wide and that long. So it was huge. So that's pretty great. That's amazing. We plugged our whole house in. Look, went down to 6 hours. So something turned down, like the fridge turned down a little bit.
So now we can turn on the oven and make tater tots.
I just like experimenting with when I have something like this, and I'm totally amazed that I can plug the whole house into it, by the way. You know, for us, we always want to be plugged in. So this for us is a different thing. This is more about emergencies, and this is an emergency, so we're going to use it. And I just saw that Alexis turned on the stove because
Friday night tater tots.
Yeah.
Tater tots.
Yeah.
And this is a gas stove, but it has an electronic light.
Ignition.
Electronic ignition, even though it runs on propane, which is why we need power. I can easily light the stovetop with no power, but not the oven. That's tricky. I don't want to burn my hairs off. So thank you, Delta.
So far so good. So I'm gonna unplug things that we don't absolutely need, like this. This is our night light. And in here is all of our electronics. Well, hard drives, and our TV, which I'll pull up in a second. But all these are 2 little power strips that are plugged in over here. And it has a little night light on that too. What I'm gonna do is unplug those, just because I know everything draws a little bit of power. But we're gonna watch TV tonight, so even if we gotta do it through our phones, we're gonna watch TV. Have we done that before? We've totally hooked up our phone.
Yeah, we have.
We actually have to connect the phone to it, though. We can't Wi-Fi. Yeah. So yeah, there's your TV. Boom. Yeah, look at that. TV's on. And it says not connected to the internet. Isn't it amazing the things we can actually do with very little power? I mean, we can still watch TV. We're gonna do like a Skype phone call with our friends.
A benefit of the tiny house is that we don't have a lot of power needs. You know, when we were in our traveling days, we used to boondock, and you know, you cut down on unnecessary, things like unplugging a few things. It's amazing how far you can get. You know, if this was hooked up to our solar panels, we'd probably be pretty much golden, because by the time it runs out, it could be charging again in the morning. So
yeah,
it's fun to experiment with, though.
Yeah,
it's amazing how tiny it is. That's what blows my mind.
Yeah.
In like a matter of 2 years time, you go from like this big to this big, but with practically the same power output. I mean, that's amazing. We could easily fit 2 of those in our cubby in our couch, and we wouldn't have to worry very much. I mean, you still have to be conscious of your energy choices. Yeah, but no, I don't. I think yes. I think we could totally just, if we had 2 of those, we could just plug the house in, and if one died, or we just plug the other one in, and we got power. Yeah. And I am also thinking, because I have the cord to hook it to our solar panels. Oh, that would be great. I'd love to do that. And we are considering buying property at some point in the future. So when we're not in a backyard, we very well might need to generate our own power consistently, not just as a backup power. So I'm excited about the possibilities and the small space friendliness of it all. So yeah, but I gotta make dinner. So get out of here. I didn't expect any of this to be like a real world scenario where we actually didn't have power, but yeah, back backup power situation, not simulated. This is real.
Yep. Yeah, we just needed some juice. And that's where it's plugged in the back. So that cord runs down through here. So that cord and into the house right there. Now it says 1 hour.
What? Really?
Yeah, because it's at 740 watts.
Turn off the TV?
Yeah, I think so.
Is this from the oven?
It's just from the oven. It's because it's got a glow plug, and creating heat always takes a lot. I'm actually gonna, all right, so it's at 7:45. This is our fridge. I'm gonna turn off our fridge. It dropped it. It dropped it almost like 75 watts. So that little refrigerator runs 75 watts-ish. Oh, look at that. So the oven must have clicked off because now it's down to 124 watts. So because it keeps turning on and off, the power goes down, so that's good. So because these are already installed on our house, this should be fairly simple. These are the connectors that go to, these are already wired in with one wire into the house. But all I have to do is connect these two up there and run the other end into the Delta, this yellow part, and it'll start charging when we have sun. It might even pull a little bit now, not much, but as of now, I'm going to set this on the deck, leave it plugged in, and see how our night goes. So, running all on battery power, aren't we? We ready for dinner?
Yep.
All right. Where we are parked in Oregon, our solar panels are on our passenger side of our house, and because of the direction that we're parked south, we only get sun in the morning on our solar panels. So the sun as of right now comes up at like 5 o'clock or 5:30 or something like that. I'm not getting up that early to do this. So it's now 9, and I connected the solar panels down here through the cord that comes with the Delta, and it is charging right now. And as of right now, it says it's only going to take 4 hours to charge, and there's 200 and keeps spiking. It goes up to 280 watts coming in to the Delta all at once. That's awesome. And so 4 hours, a 4-hour charge from our two solar panels, which are about 130, I think it was 124 watts a piece. So that's pretty good. So, oh, look, the sun's coming out even more, 358. So the thing is, the most power that the Delta can have in it at one time is 400 watts at 10 amps. Yeah, that's it. So you got to make sure that you size it accordingly to go into the Delta, because it does have an automatic alarm, like shut off thing. If it gets too hot or too much voltage, just too much of most anything, it will turn off. So that is a great safety for people that aren't thinking about it. But if it does that, it's more than likely something like voltage or temperature or something. So, but yeah, 335, that's amazing. Also, one of the things I think is crazy it has a supercharger, so it will charge in an hour and a half. One of the cool things is if you use that supercharger, plug it into a wall outlet the night before you go camping or on a boat or somewhere where you need extra power, it doesn't take all stinking day, you know? It just takes an hour and a half. You could actually charge it when you get up in the morning to leave later that morning, you know? That's amazing. Whereas all of the other small units that we've reviewed, it's still, even when you plug it into a wall, it takes 5, 8, sometimes 10 hours to charge a 500 watt system. So that's a really cool feature that they put into the Delta. Still super cool that you can connect it this way to a solar panel straight out of the box, because all of the other like even the River, that's also an Ecoflow product, or the Jackery, those are things that have dedicated solar panels, but they don't come with connectors. What is it, the M04, M04, M440 connector to the solar panels? It's nice that they have that in the box with the Delta. As you can see, it's now dusk outside, so it's about 7:40, and the Delta has been charging for now 10 hours. And it, you know, like I said, sun comes up over here, maximized for solar panels, and then goes the other way and it's not maximized. So as of now, the Delta is charged to 93%, and it is not getting any wattage whatsoever. So it took 10 hours to get it to 93%. And again, my solar panels aren't optimized for that direction, just the morning. So if I would have come out honestly, maybe an hour earlier, or at 5 o'clock in the morning when the sun starts to come up to plug this in, it would have absolutely charged it completely. I'm actually gonna plug it in on the inside of the house and get it use that supercharger. Will probably take, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops to charge it the rest of the way. And then I'll start using it on some things, like we got a couple of different coolers that are different wattages, and I want to try them out. And that's the plan here. All right, test this guy out and see what it does. So we've done some experimenting with the Delta from Ecoflow and our solar panels at the house, but I also wanted to experiment with the Ecoflow 110 watt solar panels that you can buy. So this is the bag they come in. The bag can also be used as a stand for the panels, which is cool. It has all the connections, so these are all the connections that connect the M4, that just connect to the same wires that come with the Delta. So that's great. And then this thing opens up fairly easily, just like this. And it's like, what is that, like almost 6 feet? It's like 5 3/4 feet. So it's pretty big. The thing is that I guess maybe there's glass in here or something, but this thing's heavy. So it's like 15 pounds or something like that. So that's, I guess it's okay. That means it should work really well. So one of the things we did was take the solar panel and the Delta on a camping trip recently to the mountains in Oregon, where there's this beautiful lake. We went with me and Alexis and her son, and we spent a few days hiking and around the lake and doing some fun stuff. While we were camping, we had this little cooler fridge that was connected to the Delta in the car, keeping our food cold, and it runs about 75 watts, which is kind of on the high end, but the Delta ran that little fridge for 17 hours, which is fantastic. The next morning, the Delta was almost dead, so what we had to do was connect the 110 watt solar panel to it. Not a big deal. I wanted to throw it on top of the car, But there's so many trees and stuff around there that I ended up throwing it on a camping chair so I could get a nice angle and get maximum sun volume. So with our 110 watt solar panel, there's only 65 watts of power going into the Delta at the time. So with our refrigerator cooler, it's pulling 75 watts. And it was saying that we were going to get 17 hours of power at this light configuration. And the sun moves, so we only got about 2.5, 3 hours of power out of that whole scenario. So with all that being said, the Delta is an awesome thing to have in your car for car camping. I think we've brought it 4 times, and we are absolutely going to bring it from now on. And to have this thing as backup power for a tiny house is a really, really great tool too. So I think I'm going to connect it more permanently to the solar panels that are on our house. So if an emergency arises again, we can just connect into this. And if we travel more with our tiny house, if I get a second one of these, we will have enough power to run us for an entire day. So you're probably wondering how much all this costs, right? The Delta, it is $13.99, which is a pretty good price for what we've seen as far as power stations. The solar panel, which is right here, is $3.99. So that's a pretty good price too for it to be portable like this. And we'll have links to both of these in the description below so you can check that out. But if you're going to use the Delta with solar panels, I do think that putting the 400 watts max into the Delta really makes sense if you're running several things all day long. So just keep that in mind. And if you want any more information about the Delta, that'll be in the description below.
Thank you for watching our video and for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And for more tiny home tours and stories, click the videos below.
And join us on Patreon for bonus content,
including face-to-face conversations with us. We hope to see you there.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.